My husband's work wife showed up at our house with divorce papers. Turns out I've been the other woman for 3 years. I don't even know where to start with this. I've been sitting here for 2 hours staring at my laptop screen, drinking cold coffee that tastes like battery acid, trying to figure out how to put this absolute dumpster fire of a situation into words. My best friend Maya told me I should write this all down because processing helps, or whatever, but honestly I think I'm just screaming into the void at this point. So yeah, the title is exactly what happened. And no, I'm not exaggerating for effect or leaving out some crucial detail that makes this make sense. This is literally my life right now and I still can't quite believe it's real. I'll start from the beginning, I guess. 3 years ago, I met David at a friend's wedding. I was the bride's college roommate, he was the groom's cousin. Super cliché, I know. We hit it off during the reception. He made me laugh with this stupid joke about the DJ's playlist. And we ended up talking by the dessert table for like 2 hours straight while everyone else was doing the Cupid shuffle or whatever. He was charming, funny, had this whole, gentle architect who rescues dogs on weekends, vibe going on. I thought I'd hit the jackpot. We dated for about 8 months before he proposed. Looking back, yeah, that was fast, but it didn't feel rushed at the time. Everything just felt easy with him, you know? He'd already introduced me to his parents, lovely people. His mom makes this incredible lemon cake. His friends. Even his co-workers at the architecture firm where he works. We'd do couple things. Brunches, hiking, those painting classes where you drink wine and pretend you're artistic. Normal relationship stuff. The only weird thing, and I swear this didn't seem like a red flag at the time, was that he traveled for work a lot. Like, a lot. He's a project manager for commercial buildings, and his company had clients all over the Pacific Northwest. Seattle, Portland, sometimes down to San Francisco. He'd be gone Tuesday through Thursday most weeks, sometimes Monday through Friday if it was a big project. When we first got together, I actually thought it was kind of nice. I'm a freelance graphic designer, work from home, and I'm pretty introverted. Having a few days a week to myself to work, hang out with my cat, rip Mr. Whiskers, you would have hated this drama, watch trashy reality TV without judgment, it was honestly perfect. And when David was home, he was present. Attentive, we'd cook dinner together, he'd ask about my projects, we'd plan little weekend trips to the coast. Everyone loved him. My parents thought he was great. My sister constantly made jokes about how I'd finally found a good one, after my disaster of a relationship in grad school. Different story, different trauma. Maya, who is suspicious of literally everyone, gave him her seal of approval after he helped her move apartments in the middle of summer without complaining once. We got married at a vineyard in Willamette Valley about 2 years ago. Small wedding, maybe 80 people. It was beautiful. I wore my grandmother's veil. David cried during his vows. His best man Mike gave this touching speech about how David had finally found someone who matched his energy and made him want to be better. I remember thinking I was the luckiest person alive. The first year of marriage was good. Really good, actually. We bought a house, nothing fancy, a little 1950s bungalow in southeast Portland that needed work but had good bones, as David kept saying. We adopted a dog together. This goofy chocolate lab mix named Rookie who has exactly 1 brain cell and we love him very much. We talked about maybe having kids in a few years, once we'd fixed up the house and saved a bit more money. Sure, David still traveled constantly for work. If anything, it got more frequent. But he always called me every night when he was away. Always. Like clockwork at 9 p.m., he'd FaceTime me and we'd talk about our days. He'd show me whatever hotel room he was staying in. They all looked the same, honestly. Beige walls, abstract art, those weird textured bedspreads that hotels love. I'd show him what I was working on, a rookie doing something stupid like trying to fit his entire head into the treat jar. I never suspected anything. Why would I? He wore his wedding ring. He had photos of us all over his social media. When I'd occasionally drive him to the airport, he'd kiss me goodbye in front of everyone like we were in some romance movie. He'd bring me back those little regional gifts from wherever he was. Salt water taffy from the coast. Coffee from Portland. The irony of bringing Portland coffee back to Portland wasn't lost on either of us. A silly snow globe from Bend. His co-workers knew about me. I'd been to company holiday parties. I'd met his boss, Diane, who was this intense woman in her 50s with perfect posture and opinions about everything. I'd met Jennifer, his assistant, who always complimented my outfits. And I'd met Emma. Emma, the work wife. God, I feel so stupid now. Emma started at David's firm about 6 months after we got married. She was a junior architect, fresh out of grad school, young and ambitious. David mentioned her a few times early on, the new hire, Emma from the Portland office, that kind of thing. Then it became, Emma's working on the Seattle project with me, and Emma has great ideas about the sustainable design angle. I didn't think anything of it. I really didn't. I'm not a jealous person. I've had male friends and colleagues throughout my career, and David had female friends and coworkers. That's just life, being an adult, having professional relationships. Around a year ago, David started referring to her as his work wife, in this jokey way. Like, oh, work wife reminded me to submit those reports on time, or, work wife and I grabbed lunch at this amazing Thai place in Seattle. I'd laugh it off. Everyone at my last office job before going freelance had work spouses. It was just a thing. The person you grabbed coffee with, complained about deadlines with, had lunch with most days. Harmless. Maya hated it, though. I remember we were having wine at her apartment maybe 8 months ago, and I mentioned something about David's work wife, and she got this look on her face. That's weird, she said, picking at the label on her bottle of Pinot Grigio. What's weird? Just the whole work wife thing. I don't know. It feels off. I defended him, obviously. It's just a joke, Maya. They work together constantly. She's like 24 or something, super career focused. It's not like that. Have you met her? I paused. At the holiday party last year, briefly. She seemed nice. What did she look like? I don't know, brown hair, professional, kind of quiet. Why does it matter? Maya shrugged, but I could tell she was biting her tongue. It doesn't. Just trust your gut, that's all I'm saying. But I didn't have a gut feeling. That was the problem. Everything seemed fine. David was still attentive when he was home. Our sex life was good. We went on a trip to Vancouver for our anniversary. He remembered my birthday, got me a new Wacom tablet I'd been eyeing for months. We were planning to renovate the kitchen next spring. I ignored Maya's concerns and moved on with my life. Then, 3 days ago, Tuesday afternoon, around 2 p.m., my entire world exploded. I was working from home, as usual. I had a logo design due for a local brewery by end of week, and I was in that flow state where you lose track of time. Rookie was passed out under my desk, snoring like a chainsaw. I had some indie playlist going in the background. The doorbell rang. Rookie went absolutely ballistic, as he does with any doorbell, package delivery, or gentle breeze. I figured it was Amazon with the dog food I'd ordered, or maybe our neighbor Steve wanting to borrow tools again. Steve is always starting projects he's not qualified for, but he's sweet. I shuffled to the door in my paint-stained sweatpants and an old college t-shirt, hair in a messy bun, probably looking like I'd been awake for 72 hours straight. I opened the door. Standing on my porch was a woman. Early 30s, blonde hair in a sleek ponytail, wearing business casual, nice jeans, a blazer, ankle boots. She was pretty in that way that makes you immediately self-conscious about your own appearance. She looked like she'd just walked out of a Nordstrom catalog. She was holding a manila envelope and she looked angry? Determined? Her jaw was set in this tight line. Can I help you? I asked, still holding Rookie's collar because he was trying to jump on her. She stared at me for a long moment. Her eyes were red, like she'd been crying recently but had pulled herself together. Are you Sarah? She asked. Yeah, Sarah Chen? Married to David Chen? My stomach did this weird flip. Yes. Who are you? She laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. It was bitter and sharp. I'm Emma. Emma Richardson, David's wife. I think I just stared at her. The words didn't make sense. They were English words, I understood them individually, but strung together like that they were gibberish. I'm sorry, what? I'm David's wife, she repeated, slower this time, enunciating each word. We've been married for 5 years. We have a house in Seattle. And I'm guessing from your reaction that you had no idea I existed. I literally could not process what she was saying. It was like my brain was trying to run a program it didn't have the software for. No, that's not possible. I'm married to David. We got married 2 years ago. We have a house. We have a dog. Yeah, well, I have 2 cats and a mortgage, Emma said, her voice shaking slightly. And apparently a husband who's been living a double life for 3 fucking years. She held out the manila envelope. When I didn't take it, she shoved it against my chest. I grabbed it automatically. Those are our divorce papers, she said. I filed them yesterday. Thought you should know since apparently you're part of this mess too. My hands were shaking as I opened the envelope. Inside were legal documents, lots of pages with official-looking letterhead. King County Superior Court. Petition for dissolution of marriage. Emma Richardson vs. David Chen. Married September 14, 2019. September 2019. Almost 6 years ago. This doesn't make sense, I whispered. I met him 3 years ago. At a wedding. Yeah, Mike's wedding, Emma said flatly. Mike is David's best friend. He knew about me. He fucking knew and he helped David pull this off. Mike. The best man at our wedding. The guy who gave that touching speech. I felt like I was going to throw up. David lives in Seattle, Emma continued, and she was crying now, mascara starting to run. Our house is in Wallingford. He works from home 2 days a week and goes into the Portland office 3 days a week. Or at least, that's what he told me. He told me the firm was expanding and he needed to be in Portland for project management. I believed him. For 3 years, I believed him. He told me he travels for work, I said numbly. Tuesday through Thursday. Sometimes longer. When he's supposedly in Portland, Emma said. He's with you. And when he's supposedly in Seattle. He's with me. We stood there on my porch, 2 women staring at each other, both of our lives crumbling in real time. How did you find out? I finally asked. Emma wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. I found a receipt in his car. From a veterinary clinic here in Portland. For a dog. We don't have a dog. When I asked him about it, he said it must have been from helping a coworker. But it had our address on it. This address. She gestured at my house. I did some digging. Found property records. Found your name. Found wedding photos on Facebook before he locked down his privacy settings. Too late, asshole. Jesus Christ. Yeah. She laughed again, that same bitter sound. Jesus Christ indeed. Does he know you know? Not yet. He thinks I'm at work right now. I took a sick day, drove down here. I needed to see for myself. Needed to see you. She looked me up and down, not unkindly. You seem nice. You didn't know, did you? No, I said, and I started crying too. No, I had no idea. I swear, I would never. I know, Emma said quietly. I can tell. You're as blindsided as I am. Rookie, sensing distress, whined and tried to lick both of our hands. Emma smiled a little, crouching down to pet him. What's his name? Rookie. He's sweet. She stood back up. Look, I know this is a lot. But I thought you deserved to know. And I'm going to nail him to the wall in this divorce. I have a good lawyer. If you need a lawyer, I can give you her information. I don't even know what I need right now. Yeah, that's fair. Emma pulled out her phone. Can I get your number? I think we might need to compare notes at some point. For the lawyers. I gave her my number in a daze. She texted me so I'd have hers. When does he come home? She asked. To this house? Friday afternoons. Usually around 4 or 5. He tells me he'll be home Thursday nights, Emma said. Allegedly from the Portland office. We were both quiet for a moment, the logistics of his deception settling over us like a weighted blanket. I should go, Emma finally said. I'm sorry for dropping this on you like this. But I couldn't sit with this alone. No, I get it, I said. Thank you, for telling me, for coming here. She nodded, started to walk back to her car, a silver Honda CR-V parked in my driveway, then turned back. For what it's worth, you deserve better than this. We both do. Then she was gone. I stood on my porch holding divorce papers that weren't even mine, watching a stranger drive away, trying to understand how my entire life had just been revealed as a lie. I called Maya immediately. She picked up on the second ring. Hey, what's... Maya, I interrupted, my voice breaking. You were right. About the work-wife thing. You were so right. What happened? And I told her everything. The woman on my porch, the divorce papers, the timeline that made horrible, perfect sense. Maya listened without interrupting, which is how I knew it was bad. Maya always interrupts. When I finished, there was a long silence. I'm coming over, she said. I'm leaving work right now. Don't move. Don't call him. Don't do anything until I get there. Maya. Sarah. I will be there in 20 minutes. Hold tight. She hung up. I went inside, locked the door, and sat on the couch with Rookie's head in my lap. I looked around my living room, the throw pillows I'd picked out, the bookshelf David had built, the framed photo from our wedding day, both of us smiling like idiots who thought they knew what they were signing up for. How had I missed this? What were the signs I'd ignored? Had there been signs? I pulled out my phone and started scrolling through David's social media. His Instagram was mostly professional, architecture projects, occasional food photos, pictures of Rookie. But I realized, looking at it now, that there were almost no photos of us together. Maybe one every few months. Nothing recent. I switched to Facebook. His profile still said, married to Sarah Chen, with a link to my profile. Our wedding date was listed, June 15, 2022. But when I looked at Emma's profile, I'd found it through the court documents that listed her full name. Hers said, married to David Chen, too, with their wedding date, September 14, 2019. He just kept both of us on there. Both marriages, public and documented. How had no one noticed? How had no one said anything? Then I realized, he had different friend groups. His college friends knew Emma. His work friends from Portland knew me. His family. God, what did his family know? Did his parents know about Emma? About me? About both of us? I felt sick. Maya arrived exactly 20 minutes later, bursting through the door with takeout bags and a bottle of wine that probably cost more than my monthly car payment. Okay, she said, setting everything on the coffee table. We're going to eat, drink, and figure out what the hell to do about this. But first, she looked at me, really looked at me, and her face softened. Oh, honey, come here. I burst into tears. Like, full ugly crying. The kind where you can't breathe and your nose runs and you make sounds you didn't know humans could make. Maya hugged me and let me sob into her shoulder, rubbing my back and muttering things like, what a piece of shit, and, I'm going to murder him, and, you're going to be okay. When I finally calmed down enough to breathe normally, we sat on the couch and she opened the wine. Tell me again, she said. Everything. From the beginning. So I did. I walked her through the entire conversation with Emma, showed her the divorce papers, showed her the Facebook profiles, the whole timeline of deception. Tuesday through Thursday, Maya said slowly. He's in Seattle with her. Friday through Monday, he's here with you. Apparently. And she thinks he works from home 2 days a week and goes to Portland 3 days a week. That's what she said. So he's basically commuting between 2 lives. 2 homes. 2 wives. Maya shook her head. The logistics alone are insane. How did he manage this? I don't know, I said miserably. But he did. For 3 years. 3 years, Maya. We sat in silence for a bit, drinking wine that tasted like expensive grapes and shattered dreams. What are you going to do? Maya asked finally. I don't know. I haven't processed any of this yet. Do I call him? Do I wait for him to come home? Do I just disappear and let him figure it out? You need a lawyer, Maya said firmly. Like, immediately. Before you talk to him. Before you do anything. I don't even know if our marriage is legal, I said, the realization hitting me. If he was already married to Emma when he married me, then my marriage isn't valid, right? I'm not even legally his wife. I have no idea how that works, Maya admitted. Which is why you need a lawyer. Like, yesterday. She pulled out her phone and started typing. My cousin's wife is a family law attorney. I'm texting her right now to see if she can meet with you ASAP. Emergency situation. Maya, it's Tuesday evening. I don't care. This is an emergency. She kept typing. You need to protect yourself. Financially, legally, all of it. And you need to do it before David realizes that Emma told you. When is he supposed to come home? He said Friday. But who knows what's true anymore? My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Emma. Just wanted to make sure you're okay. I know this is overwhelming. I'm here if you need to talk. I showed Maya the text. You should keep in touch with her, Maya said. She's going to have information you need. And honestly, she's the only other person who understands what you're going through right now. I texted Emma back. I'm okay. Thanks for checking. This is all just surreal. Are you okay? Her response came quickly. Not really. But I will be. We both will be. Maya's phone buzzed. Okay, Laura, my cousin's wife. She can meet with you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Her office is downtown. I'll come with you. Maya, you don't have to. Shut up. Yes, I do. She squeezed my hand. You're not doing this alone. The rest of that night was a blur. Maya stayed until almost midnight, making sure I ate something, Thai takeout that tasted like cardboard in my mouth, and didn't spiral into complete panic. She helped me gather documents, marriage certificate, mortgage papers, bank statements, anything that might be relevant. We made a list of questions for the lawyer. When she finally left, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, our bed, the bed David and I had picked out together at IKEA, arguing playfully about firmness levels, and stared at the ceiling. Rookie sensed something was wrong and stayed glued to my side all night, his warm body a small comfort in the wreckage. I kept thinking about all the little moments I'd missed. All the times David had been on his phone, texting, and I'd assumed it was work. All the times he'd stepped outside to take a call. All the times his explanations had been just vague enough to be believable. Client meeting ran late. Traffic was terrible. Bad cell service at the hotel. He'd been so careful, so methodical. This wasn't a drunken mistake or a brief affair. This was a calculated, sustained deception. For 3 years. I must have eventually fallen asleep, because I woke up Wednesday morning to my phone ringing. It was Emma. Hello? My voice was hoarse. Sarah, hi. I'm sorry for calling so early. I couldn't sleep and I've been thinking. She sounded exhausted. I want to show you something. Can you meet me for coffee? There's a place in Tigard, kind of halfway between Seattle and Portland. I looked at the clock. 7:30 a.m. Yeah, I can do that. What time? 9? I know it's short notice. No, it's fine. I'll be there. She texted me the address of a Starbucks off I-5. I texted Maya. Meeting Emma at 9. Coffee place in Tigard. Then lawyer at 10. I'll come straight there. Maya. Are you sure that's a good idea? Meeting her alone? Me. I need to hear what she has to say. And honestly, she's the only person who gets what this feels like. Maya. Okay. Be careful. Call me if you need me. Love you. I got ready on autopilot. Showered, threw on jeans and a sweater, minimal makeup to hide the fact that I'd been crying for 12 hours. Fed Rookie, gave him extra pets and apologies for the weird energy in the house. Drove to Tigard in a daze, some podcast playing in the background that I wasn't actually listening to. Emma was already there when I arrived, sitting at a corner table with 2 coffees. She looked as rough as I felt, dark circles under her eyes, hair in a messy ponytail instead of the sleek one from yesterday, wearing jeans and an oversized sweatshirt that said, UW Architecture. I got you a latte, she said as I sat down. I didn't know what you liked, so I just got what I usually get. If you want something else. No, this is perfect. Thank you. We sat in awkward silence for a moment, 2 strangers bound together by the world's worst common denominator. I brought these, Emma said, pulling a thick folder from her bag. I've been going through everything since I found out. Receipts, credit card statements, photos. Trying to piece together the timeline. She slid the folder across to me. I thought you might want to see. I opened it. Inside were printouts of bank statements, highlighted in yellow. Charges from Portland restaurants, gas stations, a veterinary clinic. Receipts for flowers, date nights, random purchases. Mixed in were photos, Emma and David at dinner, on vacation, at what looked like friend gatherings. This is from our credit card, Emma explained. The one we share for household expenses. Look at the dates. I looked. Portland charges on Fridays through Mondays. Seattle charges on Tuesdays through Thursdays. A perfect split. He must have a separate credit card for expenses with you, Emma said. I went through our joint accounts and couldn't find anything related to Portland except for his work expenses, which the company reimburses anyway. We have a joint account, I said quietly. For mortgage and utilities. But he has his own account for personal stuff. I never looked at it. I trusted him. Same, Emma said bitterly. That's how he got away with it. We both trusted him. I flipped through more photos. Emma and David at Pike Place Market. Emma and David with a group of friends, playing board games. Emma and David on a beach somewhere, sunset in the background, both of them smiling. When was this? I asked, pointing at the beach photo. Last July. We went to the San Juan Islands for our anniversary. July. Last July, David had told me he was at a work conference in Vancouver. I'd been a little bummed that he'd be gone during our dating anniversary, not our wedding anniversary, that was in June. But he'd made it up to me when he got back with a fancy dinner downtown. He told me he was at a conference, I said. He tells me about conferences too, Emma said. I'm guessing those are his time with you. I pulled out my phone and opened my calendar, scrolling back through the past year. March. He said there was a big conference in San Diego. Gone for almost a week. We went to Bend for my birthday in March, Emma said flatly. Stayed at this cabin. He said he'd taken the time off. We kept going through the timeline, matching his lies like the world's most depressing puzzle. Every work trip was time with one of us. Every conference was a vacation with the other. Every late night at the office was an excuse to be somewhere else. How did he manage the holidays? I asked suddenly. What do you mean? Like Christmas, Thanksgiving. How did he split those? Emma thought for a moment. He's always divided holidays. Christmas morning with me, then he'd drive to Portland for dinner with his bosses in the evening. Thanksgiving he'd do lunch with his parents in Seattle. You've met them, right? Yeah, they seem nice. They are. They love him. They had no idea. She paused. Do you do holidays with him? Christmas evening and the next day. Thanksgiving dinner. He'd say he had to do lunch with his Seattle family first. Jesus, Emma breathed. He literally split the holidays down the middle. Do your friends know about me? No. I showed them your photo last night and they were shocked. They've never seen you, never heard about you. Mike is the only one who knew, apparently. He and David have been best friends since college. When I confronted Mike last night, he admitted he knew about both of us. He gave a speech at our wedding, I said, feeling nauseous again. About how David had finally found his person. He was David's best man at our wedding too. We stared at each other. I want to burn his house down, Emma said conversationally. Mike's or David's? Both. We both started laughing, slightly hysterical, tears running down our faces. The kind of laughter that's mostly just exhausted disbelief masquerading as humor. I'm so angry, Emma said when we'd calmed down. I'm so angry I can barely think straight. But I'm also, I don't know, relieved? Is that weird? Why relieved? Because I'd been feeling like something was off for months. Maybe even longer. Just this nagging feeling that David was distant, that something wasn't right. I thought maybe he was having an affair, but I couldn't prove anything, and he was always so normal when he was home. Loving, attentive, so I thought I was being paranoid. She wiped her eyes. But I wasn't. My gut was right. My best friend said something felt off about the work-wife thing, I admitted. But I brushed it off. I thought she was being overprotective. We need to trust our guts more, Emma said. Yeah. We drank our coffee in silence for a bit. The Starbucks was filling up with the morning rush. People in business casual grabbing mobile orders. Parents with small kids. College students with laptops. Normal people having normal days. Meanwhile, we were sitting in the corner unraveling a 3-year lie. What are you going to do? I asked. Divorce him. Obviously. I already filed the papers. My lawyer says it's going to be messy because of the financial entanglement, but I don't care. I want out. She looked at me. What about you? I don't even know if I can divorce him. My marriage might not be legal. Right. Emma frowned. That's complicated. You should definitely talk to a lawyer. I'm meeting one at 10. Good. Emma checked her phone. I should head back to Seattle. I called in sick again today, but I can't avoid work forever. I'm supposed to have a meeting with David later this week about a project, which is going to be something. When are you going to confront him? I don't know. Soon. I want to get all my ducks in a row first. Make sure I've documented everything, moved money to accounts he can't touch, that kind of thing. My lawyer says to be strategic. She paused. Are you going to tell him you know? He's supposed to come home Friday. I figure I'll do it then. I want to see his face when I tell him I know. Record it, Emma said suddenly. If you're going to confront him, record the conversation. We might need it for legal stuff. Is that legal? In Oregon? Oregon is a one-party consent state. You can record without telling him. I checked. We exchanged numbers and promised to keep each other updated. Before we left, Emma grabbed my hand. We're going to get through this, she said. Both of us. He doesn't get to destroy us. No, I agreed. He really doesn't. I drove to the lawyer's office in downtown Portland in a fog. Maya was waiting in the lobby, holding more coffee and a bagel. You look terrible, she said by way of greeting. Thanks, I feel terrible. Laura, Maya's cousin's wife, was exactly what you'd want in a lawyer, sharp, no nonsense, but also kind. Mid-40s, gray blazer, very organized desk. She listened to my whole story without interrupting, taking notes on a yellow legal pad. Okay, she said when I finished. This is complex, but not impossible. First question. Do you want to stay married to David? No, I said immediately. Absolutely not. Good. That makes this simpler. Here's the situation as I understand it. David was legally married to Emma when he married you, which means your marriage is void. You can't divorce him because you were never legally married. However, she held up a hand, you may have grounds for an annulment, and more importantly, you may be able to sue for fraud. Fraud? Yes. He intentionally deceived you into a marriage-like relationship under false pretenses. You've commingled finances, purchased property together, built a life together based on his lies. That's fraud. You can potentially sue for damages, recoup money you've spent on the joint house, the joint accounts, all of it. My head was spinning. So I wouldn't be divorced. I'd be, what? Nothing? You'd be legally single, as you've been all along. But we'd work to ensure you're made whole financially. What about the house? Whose name is on the deed? Both of ours. Laura made a note. We'll need to sort that out. If you're not legally married, the house is more like a business partnership property. We might need to force a sale and split the proceeds, or one party buys out the other. And Emma's divorce? That's her separate legal matter, but her divorce will affect you indirectly. If she's awarded part of David's assets, that impacts what he has available to settle with you. I'd recommend you and Emma's lawyer communicate to coordinate strategy. We spent the next hour going over details, bank statements, property records, timeline of the relationship. Laura drafted a letter to send to David, putting him on notice of legal action. She advised me not to confront him until we had everything documented and secured. But I want to see his face when I tell him I know, I protested. I understand, Laura said gently. But from a legal standpoint, it's better if you don't give him a chance to hide assets or destroy evidence. Let's get everything locked down first, then you can have your confrontation. Reluctantly, I agreed. Maya drove me home. I felt numb, like I was watching my life from outside my body. You can stay with me, Maya offered as we pulled into my driveway. You don't have to be in that house alone. No, I need to be here. With Rookie. And I need to sort through our stuff, figure out what's